King just
leaving.
came in. River King came in. I was like, "Fuck you, dragon! I'm gonna arrest you."
Oh,
Oh my
right.
goodness.
Oh my god.
And Sada and Aki were there in the background.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I got it.
That's
but he also had
The
an army
Wordle.
with him.
Oh,
Did
there's
any
an
of you
army?
choose to follow? Did any of the rest of you choose to follow? Yes, the king of Oromai has arrived with a coterie of his elite guard, with which apparently he intends to evict Blue Eyes from the city.
well. I ain't really quite sure what I can contribute to this, but
Blue
I'll
Eyes
watch.
is just sort of, as you approach him from behind, you can sort of note that he's just sort of looking at the king, his present court, and his bodyguard with a rather tired and flat expression.
Huh.
You're
Understandable, yeah.
going to evict me from this city. Uh,
Uh,
Is this where Sada turns herself in?
why?
Fine. Can I ask how? I say.
Okay. And I guess I ask. All right. Well, hello. I'm Akio. Nice to meet you. I'm a guest of the man that you're trying to apparently evict. On what grounds have you decided to do that?
It may interest you to know that the man you're staying with is in fact a dragon. A terrible dragon.
Do you have any evidence?
Blue and
Wait,
cruel.
wait,
Yes,
wait.
I saw him. And also, I'm the king of Oromai. I know these things. Also, I'm the king. Why am I answering to you?
Well, I'm wearing a gold armor. I could be anybody.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're an Oromai. I'm the king.
All right. Well, is there anybody that I could speak to as this is carrying out? Because as you can see, this is very clearly a man and not a dragon. Very.
Alright. I wasn't with it, but I'm back with it. Nuva, you got me in.
What?
I was making crack that I wasn't jiving, but you brought me back in.
Oh, okay.
Sada says he's right. You know.
No, look, I am aware of what he is. You're being obtuse does not change my situation, and also our agreement, or rather, your agreement with my forebear was that you would never reveal yourself to the city at large, and you have. So now you have to get out.
Hey, are you sure that was him though? That could have been any dragon.
Wait a second. So you.
The king. Oh, right. Here was something that I was thinking about. I actually got a webcam for work.
Oh.
Sals, give us that cam. I want to see the
You were
roleplay.
saying.
I know you emote.
Well, yeah, that was the thing. Like, that is a thing that I feel like the primary thing, really, that online games does miss. The fact that, you know,
Yeah.
you can't see the person that you're interacting with.
No.
How would I
Guess we're
get
gonna.
this to work?
we're
You
taking
can
this to-
there's Discord literally has a
A
share like
video.
stream camera.
Turn on camera.
Yeah, there you go. You're right there.
I'm
That's you.
orange.
It's
Wait,
Sal's.
I don't-
Wow.
Why isn't
What?
it showing up?
Oh.
I see him.
Oh.
You guys don't see
Oh.
him?
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
Damn,
a
look
cell.
at
I'm not looking
Yeah,
at
it's
that.
Sal.
Well, once again,
Now it's Jake.
With classy artwork.
Right.
once
Wow,
again, complete
everyone
disappointment
is
that
here.
it's not
Also,
the president.
hang on.
Wait, I can give you
Oh.
guys a cat cam too.
Also,
One
a
second.
kind of cheesy book.
I can't see the book.
Look, there's a cat on the bed.
Oh, well, we're all doing this. I don't have a camera.
What?
We all
Behold.
have cameras.
But I'm a slob in pajamas. This...
I mean, I'm
You don't have to
also
be on
wearing.
camera if you don't want to be.
That's the downside. It's nice to play a game over webcam. I do that for my
Well,
D&D game, but also you gotta look presentable.
I mean, I don't look presentable right now. My hair is a mess.
I just made it
That's
the
enough
roll
for
20.
next time. Also, I just wanted to put myself on the screen because this is something that I typically do emote while I'm GMing, and just
Yes.
I didn't have to explain what I'm doing because then no one else sees me.
Yeah.
It's just Discord is on my screen here, so I tend to look at this, but the camera's there, so it's hard to like.
Oh,
Oh god, it's an earthquake.
It's your debut. You must move to your box, my love.
the cat just ran off like a crazy person.
Good.
ow.
I'm also showing off just how messy my apartment is right now. Okay.
Oh, mustache. Nothing. Just.
We're losing the plot.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Alright.
Where was I? Right. The King of Oromai is very rapidly getting completely tired of your shenanigans, and
Good.
it's there's a wire caught here, and it's causing the camera to fuck up. There. This is not up for debate. I have given a command, and you have heard it. Dragon, be gone!
Hmm.
Blue Eyes' mind appears to be working. He seems conflicted. Your Majesty, would you hold on for a moment? And just sort of turns around and over to the two of you.
Hey.
I have a quandary. My immediate and admittedly selfish preference would be to throw this person into the sun. But he is correct. I did make a pact not to reveal myself to the populace as it would draw undue attention to the city, and Ormai is not exactly a powerhouse. It would potentially be dangerous for the people here in Ogashi, were it to get around that there is a ancient dragon residing in the city. And as much as I am loath to admit it, that word, he looks to his right, across the plaza where the port, the harbor of Ogashi is chock full of foreign ships. That
Yeah.
ship has sailed, as it were, or will soon.
I kind of feel blamed for that then.
Hmm?
Where are you gonna go?
Somewhere else, I suppose. To be clear, my life has been one of travel. I have had lairs, but I'd hoped to stay at this one longer.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't even think about
Let,
that. That everybody
let
here in all the foreign ships out there probably did see this. Yeah.
let me is there could I at least explain why? Do they not want to do they not want to hear the likely cause and effect?
Yeah, I
What
doubt.
I
happened to
mean,
your mic, by the way, Nuva?
He's in a mask.
what?
Why are you wearing a mask?
I don't like showing my face.
Then
Well, don't use the webcam.
Okay.
Oh, he accidentally left the hole. There we go.
We felt like if we're all gonna do this, I might as well contribute. Anyway,
I mean, only Jake is doing it.
well, ah, I was gonna say, okay. Is there likely a chance I could at least explain how close they were to, well, and I guess I like look at my now like blue sword, how close they were to being glassed, I suppose, and that you saved them?
You would be lying. The blade is not capable of destroying cities by itself. It's a key to another weapon system.
I'd be,
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't
Fuck.
even,
The
uh,
Also,
I,
something to be said, just logically speaking, there was a pact, and that's a big deal when it comes to, you know, stuff like this.
Yeah.
The pact was broken, and even if that wasn't the case, it's not like word's not gonna spread that there's a gigantic dragon here, and people they'll come. They're gonna come regardless. So I'm pretty sure Blue Eyes would probably rather not be here anymore for
deal with
that
every
sort of thing.
single dragon slayer that comes his way.
Yeah.
To
There's
be
a cool
fair, I haven't.
vacant wizard tower out on the steps.
To be fair, I haven't faced a dragon slayer in some time.
Well,
But
yeah. I mean, I'm sure there wouldn't be any problem, but I'm sure it's an annoyance.
it could be. Although having a city guard force in between me and them would perhaps reduce the number of comers. But then there's
Hmm.
another danger that I'd be exposing these people to.
Yeah, he's concerned about the well-being of the people.
And yet, where would these people be if it were not for me? The wealth that flows into the city does so through my claws. I leave, Oromai collapses into a deeper pit of poverty than it already is in.
could, could admit that to them. King's probably sitting on a wealth that he wouldn't really have.
He likely would survive. Well, or remain comfortable. It would take time anyway, longer than his purview. Humans are short-sighted that way. They don't have to be anything else.
What if you were to start a new business enterprise in a different place that it's more prosperous?
No, then I would simply start again. Until such time as I was evicted from there. Here I felt almost like I finally had a place myself.
That's fair.
I designed this palace, sort raised. What was that?
That's what the king.
That
The
was-
king says that.
The king is
Yeah.
over in the
God
corner, being poisoned. He's choking. Well, this problem seems to be solving itself. That's my son.
Yeah.
Oops.
Wow.
Makes good noises. He should DM.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sure he'll
He's
get
been
there.
playing. He's 5e.
Nice. What kind of character?
He's playing a rogue, a wood elf
Ooh.
rogue.
oh, is he edgy?
No.
Oh,
Well, why not?
a noble road.
An
I mean,
8-year-old rogue.
I mean,
Ah, a wild card.
do you?
There
Are
you
you
go.
planning? Are you planning to take over?
Me? Who? What?
What
No,
do you
Blue
mean?
Eyes.
Uh,
Take over the River Kingdom from the king.
That's not something I had considered. Hmm.
Hello, cat.
My agreement was to assist Ormai people with my wealth and acumen, and should they fall under direct attack, my arcane might, so as not to reveal my true nature. But then he looks across the plaza, and at the equally as ostentatious palace of the King of Oromai. That is a question. Is Oromai best served by having 2 palaces instead of 1?
Sada shrugs. Probably not.
Hmm. And of course, this has some selfish inclination for you. The potential addition of a foreign ally. But it has been some time since a dragon ruled the kingdom, and after all, who should it be if not me?
All right.
Certainly not fond of the job the current king's doing.
I fully support this idea.
Yeah, this sounds fine. The current king is doing a shit job. We're not.
He really is.
Sada, after saying, "What are you gonna rule the kingdom?" and then Blue Eyes saying all this.
And then everybody's saying, "Wait, now hang on."
Meanwhile, you have not been having this conversation quietly. The king of Oromai has just sort of been behind you and has been listening to this. And as Blue Eyes starts to slowly
Hey.
turn back to him, he goes, all right, now wait. We had an agreement.
Yeah, his agreement was to help the people of Oromai. You don't seem to be doing a good job of it.
That's
Um,
not relevant. The agreement was not to protect to help the people outside of the. Also, I have reasons. I am my people's. Unlike that thing there, I am actually.
Whoa.
Or my.
Thing.
That is a monster wearing the skin of a man or an elf. He's not that. He's big, and look what he did to the plaza. And he points over, and there's this behind the guards, and the guards sort of shift away. There's actually just big foot-shaped crater in the middle of the plaza.
So Akio walks past them all and then turns around and just says, "All right, okay. And your idea is to come and do what exactly? And when the guy you're trying to kick out, well, the evidence really does speak for itself. What are you gonna do?"
I am holding him to the letter of our agreement.
With a bunch of your weaponized men? You came to threaten him.
I like the
I'm
you-
the
term
king. I
weaponized
travel with
friend.
a armed entourage. It is a matter of security. But anyway, you're complicating things. He needs to leave, and soon, immediately.
I thought no one could leave because the city was on lockdown.
Well, he can fly.
So anyone who can fly can leave.
So you wanted to turn back into a
We have
dragon.
had some trouble with raptors leaving, but yes, essentially. But still, he has special dispensation. Who are you?
Who are
Me?
you?
I'm a
What?
Sai.
I've introduced. I am the king of Oromai. This has been established. I have a crown. I live in that palace.
That palace, yeah.
For now.
What is palace?
Robes.
I mean, this palace is nicer.
Well, perhaps I'll just move in after he's gone.
Uh, um, well, I mean, I guess he's right in that there's not really much I can say on this. So, good luck, King. It was nice knowing you. Bye. Gonna go get a drink.
You
Bye, everybody.
think that I am powerless in this? Well, you don't know. You don't know that there
What?
is enforcement mechanisms
Oh yeah.
to our deal, isn't there, Nanoxus? You must
Oh.
go, lest you incur the wrath of our southerly neighbor. Yes, I know that part too. I know that this agreement was forged with arbitration, with assistance, that you were brought here, allowed to sit on a greater dragon's doorstep.
Ah.
Okay, out of character. Who's to the south?
We
don't
don't
know.
know.
Oh.
Raider dragon?
There are others?
Oh my god.
Isn't T to the south?
I
This
thought
could
he was to the
also-
north.
No
This-
dragon greater than me.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's an allusion to, well,
Like the Emperor, the Golden Emperor.
I mean, who's to say the Golden Emperor isn't a golden dragon?
Oh shit!
Sure.
Has he been ruling for a long time? I don't know anything.
No, you can make a knowledge local, I believe.
Oh
would
yeah,
be the
I'm
most
very
appropriate.
smart. I don't even have it open because I'm an idiot.
Knowledge check.
Or knowledge
Hang on.
history, actually.
Let
Sorry,
me
you have no idea.
let me wait for my character sheet to load. Give me a second.
Yes.
Do I not have knowledge history? Oh, I do. Oh, thank God.
Oh, that's a good knowledge history. And a fairly good knowledge local.
I knew I put points into that. I always do.
Asai, you actually do know that the emperors of T live average human lifespans. Maybe a bit longer on average, but you would chalk that up to them having access to really good healthcare.
Hi, Amy. And Damien.
Oh
I minimized my.
yeah.
Oh,
We got
okay.
visitors.
Hello. Jess.
So no, you would not presume that the Golden Emperor of T is a dragon.
But that doesn't mean somebody else isn't.
Well, it could just be a dragon that changes his appearance every century.
Unless that were the case.
Yeah. Who knows? This guy maybe.
Yes,
Alright, so what's
I
what's
know
going on here?
things. Dragon.
He has a name.
Ballsy.
You've proven that you know his name.
Yes, and I'm choosing not to use it in order to assert my authority.
Look, Hale snickers under his mask.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't.
So,
What are we doing here? What's going on?
so, I'm at a bar now.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
We time skipped. Jump forward.
I,
Accio 50
I,
years from now in a bar.
You just walked away.
I'm losing
Yeah,
feeling in my legs, Cat. You must move.
no.
Uh,
Blue
so
eyes.
what's he talking about, Blue Eyes?
As simple as he's described.
Mm.
Ah,
I agreed that should I reveal myself openly in order to protect the city, that I would leave it. Well, I would renounce my citizenship of it. Hmm. He looks back at you, Sada.
I wave.
You're standing next to him.
I just raised my hand.
Rule. Nanoxus, as perhaps is best to describe the entity now, erupts into lightning, shooting forth into the sky. And a moment later, a cataclysmic lightning storm erupts outside the city as storm clouds begin to coalesce overhead, appearing out of nothing. And looking north, past the palace of the king, past the walls of the city, standing, looming over the entirety of the city of Ogashi, its tallest buildings coming up maybe to his knees, is the cataclysmically gargantuan form of a dragon, a blue dragon that has become far too large. Something this
Ah,
big should not exist.
that's big.
No, nature could not support it. The sheer weight of the monster before you should crush his bones to jelly, but he stands nonetheless. Muscles the size of buildings clenching as it shifts his weight and allows his massively thick neck to bring a head the size of a building up even higher than it already is, imperiously staring down at the city. The perpetually grinning draconic mouth opens slightly.
Oh shit, he was a dragon after all.
Bells are starting to chime in the city.
Ah.
Huh.
I say.
Further, just the sudden appearance of this has caused a slight tremor through the earth. As you all hear in your heads
Oh.
a voice saying, "Leave the palace now."
I do so.
Yeah,
I just shuffle on out.
I think he means the king's palace, which
Yes,
he is
even as
about to
you
sit on.
start, the king's palace already has a stream of guards, servants, various
Oh.
people, just sort of evacuating different entrances.
I watch.
People are staring up, absolutely stricken, terrified. The lot of you, like, you've seen Blue Eyes before, but looking at this entity, the dragon, well, actually, technically, could you roll will saves?
Okay.
I'm bad at that though.
me as well, because I've already seen it.
Oh, yes.
Is he even bigger than before?
No, he is as you saw before.
Oh,
Will.
well, darn. Rolled a
So
3.
will powerful.
Mm-hmm. Uh, you are all paralyzed in fear.
Oh.
Ah.
Petrified by the supernatural aura of this thing's awesome, terrible majesty.
Got that Monster Hunter effect. Where Aurora's so loud. But this time it's just big.
After a few minutes, the last few people leave the palace, and Blue Eyes raises one claw, sort of lackadaisically, and just brings it down on it. The palace collapses like a bunch of Lincoln logs. Uh, Everything falling into itself, including that tower that you had damaged earlier, just sort of
Ah.
lackadaisically collapses into a freshly made pile of rubble, leaving only really the front and far back of the palace remaining. Blue Eyes' head then begins to curl down towards you, clearing the distance between his body and yourselves in the middle of the plaza. As he brings it down in front of the king of Oromai, who is basically just left to stand there horrified as this shape that its head alone is far, far larger than is perhaps even simple to comprehend. Its head would be a colossal creature by itself. And as they stare at each other, the king just sort of slightly shivering, the dragon breathing, before just going. And the king of Ormai is gone.
Wait, what?
He ate the king of Oromai.
Oh. I thought he just breathed on him. Frick.
Nope. Just snapped him up. He's like a chiclet.
Oh.
Oh,
Um,
Oh, that man is
should have
dead.
just licked him and let him live the rest of his life. What a power move.
Ah.
Blue Eyes' mouth opens again, revealing the king, still alive, and who is promptly just nudged out by an
It makes the same
equally
noise.
tremendous one.
It makes the same noise Damien made earlier when he pukes the king out.
Yeah.
Leaving the king and the rubble that Blue Eyes also bit up in order to not like snap the king off at the ankles. Lying shivering on the ground. Suddenly, it's Blue Eyes the elf that is back in front of you.
How'd he taste?
Terrible. He strolls over to the king and lifts him up to his face. I didn't swallow you simply because I didn't want to have to regurgitate you when I return to this form. You are no longer necessary. But no, you would be a challenge to my rule. I've already spared you, so he just drops him. Leave, go, take your things. The rest of you, establish a council or something. I don't really care. Just tell me what you're doing afterwards. And use the rubble there to rebuild the city walls. They're terrible. I haven't seen them in a couple hundred years. Why didn't someone tell me they were that collapsed? Oh, and the rest of you. Oh, right. The city is open. Do I have to do anything besides say that? The various courtiers and guards very quickly look at each other before just going, no, no, and start going off on their ways to implement the rule of Blue Eyes.
Ah.
This is not something I wanted to do. It's all going to be very inconvenient. And I will no doubt be beset by would-be dragon slayers seeking to free the good people of Oromai from my despotism. But let it be known that I did leave the city before I returned and conquered it.
Fair.
Yeah.
The best kind of
Well,
correct.
Now then, I have said before that you have my palace's hospitality as long as you desire it, but with the ability to leave now, I suspect you'll probably be wanting to get on your way.
yeah.
Mm,
We gotta
Indeed.
make sure it hasn't been nothing's been burned to the ground while we've been gone.
I sincerely hope it has not.
I hope not as well.
Anyway, recall my boon, Salaryudo.
I will.
Don't expect military aid from Ormai. It's not really built for such.
Mm.
But perhaps we can work out some sort of economic treaty. It'd be nice to perhaps have an economy not entirely based on my whims. Possibly somewhat healthier as well.
Mm.
Then again, I do enjoy exercising power over things. We'll see.
Well,
I'm going to go probably put papers on top of papers or whatever it is that rulers do.
yeah, that's pretty much what we do.
I'm sure. I'm thrilled to find out.
Yeah. Well,
I'll,
it's been an experience, Blue Eyes. Asada extends her hand to shake.
mm, presumptuous. I am a king now. You deign to touch me. And takes your hand sort of like daintily like so. And even doing so, you can feel the awesome strength behind those fingers.
Two of Sada's fingers break.
And he shakes it once before letting it go. Farewell, Wormley.
Farewell.
You are interesting. And with
All
that,
right, and I
he
guess. Oh,
walks back into his palace, leaving the rest of you to decide what to do next.
I guess we should collect his grandkids there. They can probably fly out in dragon form at least. Now that there's been a big dragon over the city, that's probably not much of a big deal. I don't know.
I don't know if you want to let everybody know how many dragons are around. Probably you want to keep
Maybe.
some secrets.
Yeah, but yeah, we could let's collect them at least, and then we can go see our two dudes who left guarding the airship this whole time.
Oh no!
Tonu and the other one, the frog.
Yes. Tonu and
Kermit.
the other one.
Kermit,
Yosuke? What
yes.
was his name? What's his freaking name?
Kermit.
Kermit.
Kermit
Yep,
Sand.
Kermit.
Yeah, we've covered this already.
Okay, but wait, what is his name? That's a dee. No. Who the fuck is this guy?
I don't remember. God, I know he had a Japanese name. I'm pretty sure. I just don't remember what it is. Because he was
Kubo.
this Kubo. Yes, Kubo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My excellent note system.
Yeah, let's go get
I should use World Anvil, but I don't.
go get Prototex, Bolamarx, and Sazamix. If I remember right?
Close, but not quite. Protodux, Bolomox, and Zasimix.
Okay.
Uh,
Bolamox. Proto what?
Protodux?
Here, let me type them
Okay.
out for you.
Okay, thanks. I think
Protodux,
I just put them down by sound there. So
Bolomox.
okay, I got Bolamox right.
Oh, I spelled it wrong.
Oh,
Zizimix.
Zizamix. Oh, and I got that one right too. Nice.
It's just Protodux, I guess that's causing the problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What would you like to do?
Yeah, let's go collect them and then head off to the airship.
Should we make sure the airship's in working order before collecting dragons?
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, we can always split
we could
up
split
and
up,
do
yeah.
that.
That's true.
Yeah,
Not
So
that
who should
Lapale
do-
would have any idea.
yeah.
You could split up,
Yes.
but what if you didn't?
Also an option.
I see. There's some foreshadowing I'm sensing.
Yeah, let's go get the dragons first.
Yeah, definitely foreshadowing. Definitely not that I feel like juggling two scenes tonight. Um, man, guys, it's just easier when you keep the party together.
Yeah, so yeah, let's go get our.
So who is going where?
We'll all go together.
Yeah, let's all go together and get the dragons first. Easier that way.
I'm
They're
going
right here.
home.
Hopefully, I hope they're still right here.
Mhm. Well, returning to Paradox Bolmox and Zasimix's room, you do find them. They are one of the well, Zasimix is standing in front of a mirror, shifting her features to adjust quite what she looks like. Bolomox is lounging in one of the dragon-sized lounges, looking over at her with what seems to be a somewhat affectedly bored expression. Um, while Pratodux is sort of in the back of the room, also in in his natural form. He has apparently been delivered an Italian wedding cake or something similar,
Hell yeah.
which he is currently munching on. Due to the
Ah.
size of his mouth, it's going quite quickly though. Bolomax is the first to really address you as you enter into the room, turning his head lazily towards you and appraising you with a single eye.
Hey,
Our handlers have returned.
you guys hear all that went outside?
I heard noises. Yeah, was that a earthquake, or did our grandpapa decide that the city is finally too ugly? It really is.
No, he turned into his full form.
Oh.
And
I notice
destroyed
it's still alive.
destroyed the king's palace.
Oh.
Yeah.
So are we the rulers of Oromai now?
He
Well,
is.
he
No, he is.
Yeah.
I,
He also fake ate the king,
foolish
but then he spit him back out.
Nanoxus has no interest in ruling a human settlement. Why would he? He is the greatest dragon that still lives in all the world. He will
Yeah.
surely name one of us one of his regents. Yes, one of us. And certainly it will be me, as the only one capable of really tending to an administrative state. I think it'd be best if I remained behind to rule Ormai and Nogashi, while the two of you went to Surugu to attend to Miss Ryugo, I believe. Regardless,
Close enough.
Why would you want to miss out on being a princess that goes to a different country under the assumption that everybody would know that you're of royalty?
because I can actually be royalty here, human.
But you could have the admiration of strangers, foreigners. You'd have
But Blue
the.
Eyes didn't ask for any of you to stay.
Yeah. No, yeah. If you go ask
I
him yourself, he'll
was.
probably get really mad and just tell you the same thing he already told you.
You gotta talk to them
He's
like.
about to say that until you go. If you go ask him himself, he'll get mad. At which point Zasimix and Bolomox look at each other before. Well, sister, on second thought, perhaps you would be best for this role. No. I think it would be. Well, I mean, you're really the sort of bookish one. You're so well learned. I think you should. The role is meant for you. Before both of them turn towards their other sibling and say, "Paradox, why don't you go and ask our dear grandpapa just what's going on?" At which point, Paradox looks up from eating the cake, goes, "Okay," and
I love him.
Him so much.
Little
walks
idiot.
out of the room. Excuse me.
Is he in human form or dragon form?
He is a dragon. His human form
Okay.
does not go when he walks around.
I mean, I don't know. He's probably not used to it yet. I was making sure.
And he begins to sneak his way down the hallway. And yeah, it's the size of the hallways are now manifestly obvious as to their necessity. And he goes down the hallway, hears footsteps pattering off into the distance. Well, not really pattering, or thudding. And then you hear, "Oh, Grandpa Nanoxus, are we going to stay here and rule? No? Okay."
Only a Muppet now. Oh, okay.
And he begins. You see him walking back around the corner. Thud, 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 thud. Goes past you guys again. Goes back. Looks at his siblings. He said no, and then he goes back to the cake and sees they finished it, and then goes, "Oh."
He killed him.
Um, was he angry? He said if you had asked, he'd been. Um, Perhaps it would be good to take a bit of a vacation from our family abode. Yes, perhaps Surga would be interesting to visit. Are you intending to leave soon?
Yes. Probably very soon if you're able.
Imminently.
Yes.
Well, naturally, we will have to be attended to appropriately. Yes, we do have hordes. You do
Oh?
know that dragons have hordes, don't you?
I've heard.
Hmm. I presume that you have arranged for transportation.
Nope. How big are they?
Substantial. Why do you want to know, human?
I mean, we have two extra dimensional ways of storage here. I might be able to carry some.
Oh,
Yeah.
we will put our hordes into your extra dimensional spaces. Of course, how convenient humans are always thinking of new and interesting ways to make off with our hard and riches.
So they want us to transport their hordes, but they don't want us to know where or how big or how much their hordes are.
You're getting that impression.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
You will need to arrange for transportation. And not in your extra-dimensional spaces. It's probably just a euphemism for putting it in something terrible. Disgusting. Mammals are always doing stuff like that.
I mean, it's just this
Yes,
hole.
we'll just put it in
I show them my
our
portable
kangaroo
hole.
pouch.
Orifices.
Ugh.
And also, Pow is a bag.
Medbayar picks up Sada and shakes her about and tells her, "No! Bad, Daimyo! You put
What?
your portable hole away! At least wait until they take you out to dinner first. Anyway,
Stop
sorry
flashing
about
that
that.
portable hole.
Sorry about that. She's still training."
I have a question. Once we join up with you, may I do that to her from time to time?
No.
I'm quite capable.
Medbayar kind of glares as if someone is threatening his job. "No, I died and came back from heaven
I
so I can
haven't.
do this."
That would seem to
Yeah.
make me even more qualified.
What? Why, how dare you?
Very easily.
I'm gonna go think. Why?
Don't hurt yourself.
God damn it.
Medbayar trots out angrily.
Your centaur friend is more muscles than brains, isn't he?
Yes.
Anyway,
So yeah. What are we doing?
procure us new extra-dimensional spaces that we will keep secured upon ourselves, and in those we will attend our hordes.
Okay.
Good?
I'll see what I can do.
Where are we supposed to find?
I'm gonna go ask Blue Eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, the city doesn't even have cheese and crackers. How are we gonna find bags of holding?
So yeah, thus dismissed from your 3 erstwhile charges. You wanted to go find Blue Eyes next?
Yes.
All right, you find him, you walk through the palace, and eventually,
If we
you
pass the
follow
dining,
the,
can I check for another cake for Protodux?
as you pass the dining area, you do see various servants sort of running in and out. They appear to be setting up for like a dinner or a lunch or something. There's nothing served as of yet, but these are the people to ask if you need something.
Okay.
So, and if you were to do so, do you or?
Yeah, sure, let's ask for another cake. I'm sorry for derailing this temporarily.
No, not at all. You go and you sort of grab a servant as he's hurrying past, and go, yes.
Hi, do you know who made the big cake for the dragon, and can we get another?
Oh, he's going to turn into a cake. Yes, I'll have another one produced momentarily. Excuse me. Continue
There he
shifting
goes.
on his way.
All right.
Following the skittering servants, you see where a few appear to be joined by some persons that you spotted outside that had been courtiers to the king. That are now sort of coalescing around the central tower portion, where Blue Eyes is currently sat, having various people come up to him, speak to him, at which point he eventually answers yes or no, or gives a more long-winded answer should it be necessary, and waves them on their way. You note that these people are all his servants. They are courtiers from outside, and they also occasionally look like to be members of his criminal enterprise. He seems pretty busy as you begin to approach. His eyes lock upon you, and you can see now that they're no longer they no longer have circular pupils. He has allowed them to shift into a more reptilian slit.
Ah, nice.
Sada,
Hey. I know, so soon, right?
time passes differently when you rule, evidently.
Yeah.
I have lived for eons, and none have seemed so long as the last 20 minutes. Since you put this foolish idea into my head, I suppose it's only right I continue to give you some extra attention. What do you need?
Your grandkids don't want to leave unless we get them big bags of holding for their treasure. Or
For their
equivalent to
what?
that. Their treasure? They said they have treasure hoards.
They want you to purchase them bags of holding to put their treasure hoards in.
Yes.
Let me make this very clear. If you purchase them bags of holding, their treasure hoards will equate to 1 bag of holding each.
Ah. Okay. I see.
It is cruelly embarrassing for them. I find that appropriate. Tell them to get out.
Okay. Thanks for the confirmation.
Yes.
All right. See you
And
around.
inform them that should I need to evict them personally, they will not enjoy it.
Okay.
Speaking of new starts and new orders and evicting people, I heard that you were mostly willing to excuse Bo's betrayal until a certain someone pressed the issue, and that someone then went on to betray you. So, would it be appropriate for Bo to stay?
I would very much like him to.
I sort of lost track of him. Do you want us to go tell him that? See what he wants to do?
No. I gave Bo the punishment that I needed to. He betrayed me for very understandable reasons, but he betrayed me. Please realize, most of my kind would have rewarded that with death.
Sada. Sada just nods grimly.
I am in a position where I cannot appear weak or indecisive.
All right.
Unfortunately, my decision regarding his exile stands, as much as it pains me to enforce it.
All right.
Yep.
Of course, there is the matter of its length of time or potential visitation. That could perhaps be reapproached in the future.
Okay.
But for the time being, he must leave.
Okay.
Sort of like how you left the city before coming back and conquering it.
Perhaps not quite that brief.
I just I wish you luck with all the bureaucracy you have incoming.
Yes, I think I shall have to establish myself as more as a figurehead. This is
Yeah.
exhausting already.
Maybe
It
get one
could
of those.
simply be that
Get one of those
being.
XC bureaucromancers or something. We have one of them.
I'll keep that in mind. There aren't very many of those around, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you just gotta look in wardrobes. They seem to like it in there.
I'll also keep that in mind. That's a vaguely disturbing fact. Perhaps it's because I was twice today hundreds of feet tall and weighing thousands upon thousands of tons, but I'm exhausted already. Oh well. This is what it will be for the next however long.
All right.
I've endured worse things.
Well,
Until next time,
Until next
Sada
time.
Ryudo et al.
Yes.
I look
All right.
forward until our next meeting.
All right. Back to the Dragon Kids.
What was that about bureaucrats and boudoirs or something?
So Frood basically this one is actually the cart of this campaign. Frood invented this fucking this TN bureaucromancer who's like his basically his in character explanation for him helping us with our kingdom building stuff.
Yeah, the joke was that the bureaucromancers, who are bureaucrats from T, live in literal bureaus.
Yes.
That's as
It's,
far as it goes.
yeah,
Honestly.
he just emerges from this bureau every month to help us with the kingdom building, and he goes back in.
Incidentally, he's about to.
Yeah.
So, you are able to easily navigate through the palace back to the three dragon kids.
Yes.
Which, to be clear, these are clearly adult blue dragons. These things are
Yes.
large.
Yeah.
Prododux might be a little on the childlike side, but he is not a child.
Yeah.
The three of them look back at you
Hey.
as you enter. Sasimex has returned to her draconic form. As the three of them look up at you. Ah, and I presume you have our bags of holding.
No.
Extra dimensional. What?
Blue Eyes. I asked Blue Eyes, and he said that your hordes would not be enough to even pay for one, and that also he wants you out, and that if he has to do it himself, he'll be very mad.
oh, Akio just stares at you just in disbelief.
That is always gotta
And-
stir that pot.
And
Yeah.
at your lack of class, just why? He's just giving you that. He's just staring at you.
In this case, it seems to have worked, as the three of the dragons are still staring at you, kind of like bug-eyed, before looking at each other and then back to you, and saying, "All right, well, I suppose we'll get going then." Yes, let's be off. Yeah, let's go.
All right.
And thus, the
Wait,
three
before
of
we
them
do
shift.
that, sorry. As they do that, sorry, I just wanted to like pull Sada to the side. Hey,
What?
There's this thing called pride, and
I mean,
you
they gotta.
shouldn't just. I understand you humbled them, but you gotta have some cards on the table. Don't just pull the rug from under someone and then expect like you're trying to get them on good terms with you. They're gonna remember this. Just okay.
Okay.
And so the three of them shift into human forms, which you note is a little bit more refined now. They've appear to have made some adjustments. Most notably, Paradox is wearing clothes.
That's good.
Although they are quite simple.
I mean, simple's better than none at all.
Yes. He's not wearing shoes, though.
Oh, okay.
Baby steps.
But the three of them sort of stroll out of their chamber into amongst you. And you do note that both Zasimix and Bolomox are, or Zasimix rather, are each a couple inches taller than Akio as your tallest bipedal member.
Yes.
But each of them are just about the same height. It's hard to tell.
Constantly going up and down as
That's what I was expecting. Keep trying to
You just
outsize
keep,
each other.
yeah, you just keep noticing they're just slightly taller every time you sort of look at them. One is the person who is taller than the other keeps switching. But yeah, the lot of you are at that point plus 3 dragons. What would you
All
like
right.
to do?
Let's
We
go
should
get
prep-
Bo.
And we should pick up Marco and Pasquale and
Ah, yes. Are they still? Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot they weren't with us.
Pascal, you are able to collect the rest of your previously collected members. Yes, you do find Pascal. He had sort of peeled off the group at a certain point, and was being checked over and administered to by Dottore Nieve. You find him and Marco, who together in a room, actually with Bo and Backfire as well.
Oh.
And Thurman.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Hey. So a lot happened.
yeah, what? You see, so as you walk into the room, Pascal is sort of sat up on a table with the top half of his clothing removed, as Dottore Nieve is going over his torso with a substantial amount of a tincture that is basically like slowly it's sort of making his skin, which is utterly covered in the horrible scarring of terrible burns. But where Nieve is rubbing it into the scars, you see the scars sort of like mush into clay like material and sort of sink themselves into the normal skin that ends up being replaced. Marco is watching this with a mixture of disgust and fascination. Um, it's just like so gnarly, yet so cool. I want to throw up, but can I touch it? No.
We don't
And
want to puke on it.
meanwhile, Thurman is standing next to Batfire, who is standing next to Bo, who is sort of chilling, and the three of them are chilling out at a respectable distance. Um, Papyr and Thurman turn to look at you as you enter and goes, "What was all that noise?"
So Blue Eyes is in charge now.
Of yeah, in general or of what?
Of Oromai.
The dragon's in charge of Oromai.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I wasn't planning on being really engaging in the whole raiding portion of our culture, but it's good to know that Oromai is wholly off the table for that.
Yeah, he destroyed the king's palace.
Oh, okay, so it's obvious
Yes.
that
Mhm.
he's okay. So I can't also maybe convince someone else to raid Oromai.
You know.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
he went full dragon, and then told everyone to get out of the king's palace, which they did, and then he destroyed it.
Okay, so a dragon can just. Locale is saying something about him being like a cajillion feet tall. What does full dragon mean?
That
The palace came up to about his knee.
He turns back and he looks at Bo. Did you know about this? Well, not. I mean, I never saw him as a dragon. Um, that's that big. But one time he did mention that dragons grow up an inch or two a year, and he also at a different time mentioned that he was 8,000 something years old. And there was another time where I was reading in a book where it said that like the really old dragons, the original ones, don't never stopped growing, and like their battles were cataclysmic. So I was thinking, oh, if he was one of those, he'd be like 1,500 feet long,
yeah.
just with math. Kinda, to answer your question. Bat Bear nods and turns back to you.
He also ate the king, but he didn't really. He spat him
He
out.
spat him out.
Yeah, he was just wanting to freak him out.
Understood.
Yeah.
So, as the now a fellow ruler of a country or substantial political entity um, that borders or is near to the River Kingdom of Oromai, um, are you as terrified as I am of the 1,500-foot long dragon ruler of our neighbor?
A little bit, but he seems to be on. He wants to be on friendly terms with us. So
Also, Bo, he said your exile didn't have to be forever.
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Yeah. You can't come back immediately, but at some point in the future, it can be revisited and you can come back.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, by that time, I'll probably have put down roots somewhere else. So,
Hey,
well,
at
it's
least you can
nice to
always
know that
visit.
I'll be able to visit.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Hmm.
I thank you. And
Yeah, I imagine he'll. He,
yeah, done. No more burns. You
hey,
can. I'll send you a bill next week. So am I to reason that the rest of you are all leaving now?
Yes, that's the plan.
You're a ruler of a foreign state, you know.
Yep.
You could, if you're so inclined, since you are a ally. Well, actually, no, you're not quite an ally, but you are on friendly terms of events such that we could probably say, yeah, you could request the services of a dottore. If you're so inclined.
Hmm.
Having one is useful for ensuring the balance of one's personal humors.
True.
You even want to come with us?
Yeah.
No, not me. I am an expert. I am needed in Viven. My responsibilities would never allow me to remain outside the city for too long. But we would send a normal dottore.
I mean, we do have one there. Pascal's has been hanging out with us for a while there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dottore Clemenza.
Yes.
Yeah, he came with me. Ah. Yes, that makes sense. I wonder why that was not told to me before. I knew that Rodrigo had requested the services of a new dottore, but I had not been told what had happened to his previous one. Interesting. Anyway, if you do choose to, reference the letter request to me. I will be able to get the request through the council.
Okay.
Until then, I will leave you to preparing your evacuation, as it
All
were.
right. Thank you. And I wish you. I
Senor
wish you.
Fatazo, you are quite done. You may put your shirt on whenever you so wish. And with that, he
I was
closes
gonna.
up his bag and turns back to you. Yes,
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say, and I wish you safe travels as well. I imagine you'll be setting out again soon.
I will.
Hmm.
Though I do have one more appointment with Senor Blue Eyes.
Yes.
His teeth need to be cleaned.
Which ones?
The big ones.
Good luck with that.
He reaches inside his bag, and evidently the bag is a bag of holding as he pulls out a 6-foot long version of one of those scraper things that dentists use. Oh, believe me, I'm quite prepared. And he slips it back. And with that, he closes the bag again. Bows to you curtly, and makes his way out the door.
All right.
And yeah, leaving you with a party that has gotten back together.
Yeah. Are we gonna be able to fit everybody? I just realized that.
Pascal, as he dutifully puts his shirt back on, eliciting a from Bo, goes, well, if we don't, there's presumably still a Fatazo ship in the harbor. We could use that.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yes.
I mean, hopefully. There is like an off chance that the captain won't believe that I am who I say I am, and thus won't allow me to commandeer his ship, essentially. Do you think that that's unlikely to happen, right?
I mean, we'll cross that
I'm pretty
bridge
well.
when we get to it. I mean, hey, there's
I
people who can do
mean,
pretty
don't
good.
we have Marco as proof?
Hey, there's people who can do pretty good disguises.
And also, I think between the two of us, me, random 14-year-old Aniban versus Pascal Fatazo, the brother of Rodrigo Fatazo, who also is built like that, is a little bit more recognizable than.
True. Yes.
What do you do next?
All right. Yeah. Let's head out, everybody. Oh yeah, these are Blue Eyes' grandkids, by the way.
Actually, your party was pretty much collected when the dragons were introduced. So
Oh yeah.
at this point, people do
Okay.
know.
They don't know Marco, but we're just gonna make some hand signals that say, don't mention the dragons to Marco. Well, I guess that cat's out of the bag, but still.
Yeah, you did just sort of say that Blue Eyes is a 1,500-foot tall dragon in front of Marco. And at that point, Marco is just sort of taking it in stride. When you were talking about that, he was basically just like, okay. And yes, the now quite large group of you marshal your way out of Blue Eyes' palace into the palace square. You see where a number of guards have set up around the giant footprint crater and also have blocked off the ruins of the palace. Although there is quite a crowd trying to look in and see what's going on in there. And also potentially, its palace is probably filled with some really nice stuff. Now stepped on.
Yes.
And begin making your way through the city.
Yeah. Let's go.
You
We
can
gotta go check on.
already
Oh.
see things like the interdictor leaving is lifting. As you're walking through the sea, you do note that a few ships have unfurled sails and are raising anchors as they begin to ship their way out of the harbor. Of course, the harbor is so full that any such shifting will quite take some time, as the ships that are closest to the exit are obliged to make their way out before any of the ones closer to the
Yes.
docks. But yes, eventually you make your way to the back building, the stable area, where you recognize the tarp covered form of your sky skiff. And as you do so, as you enter into the stable area, a Gripply hops off the roof of a nearby building in front of you, raising up a blade next to him, going, "Okay, you all wait before." Oh, it's you guys. Oh, sorry.
Hey, Kubo.
Hello.
How's it been going? Been a
Well,
while.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty boring.
Or
Nobody
was it?
came to
You saw?
steal the sky skiff.
Did you see the show?
Um, yeah. Then there was a big dragon,
Yeah.
and then there was a big dragon again. It was the
Yeah.
biggest dragon I ever did see. Not that I've seen that many dragons, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
really interesting for
Yeah.
a couple seconds there. And
Yeah.
then got boring again.
Yeah.
Tono, at this point, is coming out the door of the building. His hand also on his sword, but relaxed at either side of you. So am I to take it we're going to be leaving?
Yep.
Okay.
We helped Bat Bear take back his tribe,
I'm glad.
his people. Yeah.
Good for you. Good for him.
Yeah.
You picked up some extras.
Yeah.
Okay, I
This is
guess I'll just go unexplained.
Yeah. No, that's a bow. I point a bow.
Hi,
He's a
Bo.
yeah.
Hello.
He used to work for the dragon.
Okay. Okay. And these three?
I look at Pal.
What? Yes.
Should I say it?
No, we're envoys of a sort. They're coming back with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's Locale. He's currently in a fugue state.
Okay. This is more people than will fit on the sky skiff, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking, Sada, you can drive the float boat, and I will accompany some folk onto the boat, and makes sense, I guess. Right.
Makes sense to me.
Sada knows how to drive it.
Yes, I do.
I have a question. How do I comport on that thing? Because I mean, that's about that size, and I'm about that size. So it seems like size is like, how do I fit?
Yeah, you might need to go on the ship if we're doing that. Guess we can
Alright.
figure out who goes where and whatnot. We still have to actually go and
I mean,
sure
weren't you
that's
able to get
happening.
Bat Bayar on that? Like Big Bayar?
Yeah.
But only one big
One centaur.
horse-sized person can
Yeah.
fit.
What?
And actually, even then, Batfire was not in the horse compartment. He
Oh,
could be
yeah.
now because other Batfire's horse won't be in it.
Yeah, but we have Bo
Oh
now.
yeah.
But you have Bo now.
Yeah.
And also, it's a long trip, and frankly, that horse compartment is not that comfortable for a centaur. And Big Bayar would not fit in it anyway. But the way that you transported Big Bayar he was simply transformed into another hominid, humanoid.
Yeah.
May I make a suggestion? As the person that needs to go and tell that ship that they're transporting passengers,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
we should do that now before it leaves.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I could go run really fast.
Yeah, Pal could probably run faster than I could fly.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll go
I think.
ahead.
Hey,
You guys catch up.
I think I can fly now. By the way.
Okay,
What?
Yeah. You know,
wait, what?
doing all that flame. You know how like I jump around and like surround myself with fire and like do like short
No,
bursts. I think.
I don't know that.
Oh, well, I can do that, and I've realized I think I can like concentrate that to do that more consistently
Got your
in a way.
rocket boots?
Yeah. I
Holy
can't
shit.
attack. I can't attack it, and I have to like focus on it. But I think I can do that. Let me try that actually.
Wait, like the the burning wrath does.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Um, maybe you can challenge her to a flying duel.
Maybe. I mean, she could probably fight and fly though. I can't do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Here, let me try this. Sada push her hands out, and
Oh.
here, let me try this, and then they erupt with flame when she goes into the air.
Alice
Right.
already ran away, but in her heart, she says, "Don't draw attention to yourself."
And then I
She
just
doesn't
go
know
up a
why
little
she
bit.
says that.
Pow, you do hear up behind you, and looking back, you do see Sada get flung about 60 feet up into the air on a pillar of flame. Um,
Ah!
She
this
sort of stands
very-
there for a second.
yeah, so does Sada at the apex of her jump, before beginning to fall back down again.
All right, that's somebody else's problem. I'm gonna
And then
keep
I
going.
slow myself down.
Pow, you can also see behind you, Pascal is running after you also, just like trying to catch up with you, which of course is a fool's errand.
Yes.
You are able to zip to the harbor with exceptional speed. And as it really happens, it wasn't a completely necessary endeavor, as the harbor is still something of a traffic jam. You can see a number of ships are basically just sort of stuck trying to get out of the harbor, and the ships that are actually docked at docks, which includes the Fatazo vessel, are basically just obliged to wait. But you are able to make your way up onto the deck of the ship before anyone on there can really react.
I mean, seeing that the ship is not in any risk of setting off immediately, I would probably wait for Pascal to catch up.
Like, oh god, it's the ghost.
It was, yeah. Well, no, because I was disguised, you see, so they don't
Yeah,
even know. They would
Ah,
never know.
That's sure.
all right, so you stop at the gangplank. And a few minutes later, a sprinting Pascal finally gets up to you, breathing heavily, though not completely devoid of breath. Luckily, he is both a Neban and has the endurance feat, so he can actually do that for quite some time.
And you made pretty good time.
Thanks. Just uh, uh, thighs kind of chafy. Okay, let's get on board. And with that, he walks up the plank and speaks with the captain. Captain Polaro, who you'll remember is our somewhat portly Aneban gentleman. He's a little bit skeptical of what Pascal is informing him initially. Yes, you do look something like Don Pascal, but do you have any proof?
Like a ring or something, like a family
Um,
seal.
yeah.
Am I carrying anything?
Are you carrying anything?
I don't know. I'm just I have the bag. It's like, do I have anything like looking in it? Like passports.
Yeah, you see Pascal starting to pat at his pockets. I'm not wearing a signet ring. I mean, how many Nevans look like this?
Asai will come jogging up very slowly.
Captain Polaro looks less than impressed at this reasoning. And yeah, Asai, so after a few minutes, Asai, you are able to sort of make your way up onto the ship as well. Polaro looks past Pascal and Polina before going. Wait, who is this now? Why is there a priestess of Crypta on my ship?
I forgot to say to Tonu that Asai just showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah, he knew who Sai was. The fact that she just showed up, he just did not seem to even register.
Wait 1 second. Let me make sure the spell does what I think it does before I embarrass myself again publicly, but I do have Zone of Truth, which might help.
All right.
Because it keeps people from lying, right? That's what it does in D&D.
It does. The difference with it in 3.5 and Pathfinder is a little bit worse in that the person who casts the Zone of Truth doesn't know if the people that they cast it on passed or failed to save.
Huh.
Which kind of defeats the purpose, in my opinion.
Well, that's dumb.
It is. Which is, actually, I feel like I've made this ruling before, that if you cast Zone of Truth, you do know. So I'm going to presume that I did and keep with my previous presumed opinion. So, yes. There is the issue of convincing that's convincing Captain Polaro that is in fact what you're casting.
That is true.
Can you cast it on both of them and then make him divulge one of his deep dark secrets?
It is a zone.
It is a zone. It is a 20-foot radius emanation.
All right. Look, people. This is all very rushed. I don't know who you are. I definitely don't know who this priestess of Crypta is. And you say that you're Pascal Patazo, but you have not shown me any writ or evidence that you are who you say you are. And Senor
Also, I brought
Patazo
Marco.
What?
And you look like Marco Fatazo, and you look like Pascal Fatazo, but how would Marco Fatazo even get here? Well, you kind of brought me here. What? That. And why is this priestess of Crypta casting a spell? At which point, if you choose to, you could cast Zone of Truth.
Yep. Let's do it.
Everybody. Well, Captain Polaro actually will choose to make a will save because he doesn't know what's going on.
Okay.
And anyone who doesn't want to be directly affected by this can make a will save. Captain Polaro rolled a 16.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that he has been affected.
Yep.
And and you know that Marco is affected as well.
Oh.
You also know that Pow is absolutely not affected.
Mm-hmm.
That Pow, when the Zone of Truth started to touch her brain, her brain punched it.
Yeah.
However, you also know that Pow is pretty likely to tell the truth anyway. So,
Except for this
right.
exact moment.
That right now.
You also know that Pascal is under the effect of the Zone of Truth as well. What did you just do?
I blocked lying.
You blocked lying.
Yes.
You had to forgive me, priestess, but I am not a magical expert. I have no way of verifying that is what you have done.
We'll try to lie.
All right. I am wearing a green red hat. I am wearing red hat. My hat.
Have you ever pissed a bed?
Who said
You're
that?
not here.
The ghost of Akio asks.
The piss
Bed
ghost.
No!
I am
Damn it.
wearing a red hat. Oh, wow. All right. Yes, it appears I cannot lie. But how do I know that he cannot lie?
Well, you're going to have to trust me on that one. But he is also affected, as is Marco. How you can't trust.
Trust me.
Don't trust
That's
her.
good to know. My name is Pascal Fatazo. I am the younger son of Carmine Fatazo and younger brother of Rodrigo Fatazo, son of the Fatazo trading family, head of the Surugu trading post. Your boss. You had to add that last part. All right. Forgive me, Senor Fatazo. I hope you can understand why I'm glad that you were skeptical. And after that, Pascal and the captain, Captain Polaro, begin discussions on how to proceed. Captain Polaro has a ship, so he can take on a large number of people. Comfort will vary. The captain will give up his own room to Pascal and presumably also Paulina. And then would likely be obliged to give up his first mate's room to Marco. After that, he would be in his Coinmaster's room. The remaining people who would be on the ship would be in hammocks for what would likely be about a week's journey. Maybe a few, actually, no, about half that, a few days. Excuse me. Ormai is not that distant from Surugu. And so, with that thus established, you have now two different ways of getting to Surugu. Who is going on what?
That'll be on the sky skiff.
Okay, Sada on Skyskiff.
And obviously Bedbar will be on Sky Gift.
The sky skiff moves faster than
Yep.
boat?
Skyskiff does move faster than boat.
Yeah,
Boat
much
is
faster.
Should the core party be on the sky skiff? The government, return back before all of our guests and sundry folk.
I feel
show
like
up.
it
Makes
would
sense.
be wiser to put the dragons on the
Yeah.
skiff with the fewest casual observers.
no.
You
They
gonna
probably
That's-
complain. They would
expand
very
on
much
that?
complain. They would complain about being in hammocks and probably cause a scene. I would think.
Yeah.
I think we want to get them to Surugu as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think that also checks out.
Yeah.
So how many people are we? How many does the sky skiff fit?
Well, actually, let me. The Skyskiff can fit 10 medium creatures on it.
Okay.
And one large-sized creature, the general proportions of a horse.
Yes.
Sounds like we could get the party and some dragons on there.
We probably want to send Bo with the ship, so we don't have to be in the uncomfortable centaur hold.
Yeah.
All right, so that the people going back with you, Tonu, Bo, the three dragons, Sada, Pow, Locale, Asai, Akio, Batbayar, Pascal, Marco, Sonata, Kubo.
God, I forgot about
And-
Sonata.
Yeah, I'm still here. And I think that's it. Am I forgetting anyone?
And then Bitbyar and Thurman are staying here.
Yes.
Okay.
And this will be the last time that we will have to worry about getting confused about Pathfinder and Pathfinder.
Yes.
Aww.
For now.
For now. So, that is 13 people, 2 of whom are large. 3 of
Yes.
whom are huge, but can easily shapeshift into a medium.
Yes.
How did that mask go?
What?
Okay.
What?
I don't know.
Party
I'm
and
young.
party
I'm
and
yawning.
dragon.
Batbear can shapeshift into
Even
well,
so, he fits in the hold on the sky skiff.
he does not anymore.
Oh, that's
He's too buff.
He's too. That is so silly.
Yes.
No,
Should
this is
have
perfect.
picked
This is
smaller.
exactly what I want. No,
What?
you know what? I could.
How long
You
does
could ride on the boat if
how
you
long
want.
does the sky skiff take again?
I think you'll be back within a day.
Okay.
Hmm.
Just making sure Batbear doesn't explode.
Yeah.
Like
No, he
falls
won't.
asleep and then wakes up. Okay.
Unless he falls asleep, then you'll have a problem. But
Yeah.
no, so long as he does not go to sleep, and he should not during the trip. You will
Okay.
get
Time
there.
to
It'll be late at night, but when you get there, but you'll get there before you need to take a rest.
All
time
right.
to open up a crack of Red Bull in Fantasyland.
Mm.
Touch the cursed orb of invisibility to not sleep for a day.
Okay, so you did say that the 3 dragons are going on the sky skiff.
Yes.
Mhm.
A sky skiff, how quaint.
Hey, do you want to get there quick?
I think I could fly faster.
Well, wait till we're out of the city. Then you can fly if you want.
Hmm.
Then you.
No.
Well, I mean, hey, if we're over open ocean, it'll probably be fine. As long as they don't
No.
land in Sarugu like that. I don't know.
You know there's trade routes, right?
Oh, please. As if it's the first time they saw something large flying through the air. They'll probably mistake me for a rock, or maybe they'll say it is a dragon, but who cares? Besides, who's going to stop me?
That's not really the. You know what? Yeah. All right. Fine.
Sal's making that dream work face. It looked like it for a second there when you were doing the smug face.
So that's 3 on.
Excuse me.
I put it under the boat. That's 3 for the sky skiff. 4 for the sky skiff, including Sada.
Yes.
You were also saying that you wanted the party on that, so.
Oh, Jake, welcome back.
I am just listening in because
Okay.
I went and bought an auger, and I'm gonna be augering my tub.
Okay then.
What's an
So
auger?
I'm on mute.
Fun.
You're
Something
going
is
to
your-
be doing it
something is
now?
very loud.
There's nothing happening.
What? What? What just what? Hello?
He's gone.
And away he goes.
What's
Okay.
augering?
You gotta drain that bathtub.
It's the thing. It's like the pipe snake that. Right?
Yeah. Actually, I wasn't entirely. So, oh wow, really bright. I'm familiar with augur as the like soothsaying kind of augur. So, but yeah, I think what you're saying, like, it sounds familiar.
Like an ice auger for making a hole to go ice fishing.
Yeah.
Like screw.
apparently, or a hole to drain your tub.
Mhm.
Okay, so where were we? Yes. So we have 4 on the sky skiff, none on the boat currently.
Yes. Let's see.
Well, I think Pascal and Marco should be on the boat.
Yes.
Mhm.
Everyone
Bo.
that's not active main party, Vampire, and Dragons should be on the boat, I think.
Okay.
But I'm a vital member of society.
Then we'll. What?
I don't know.
That's why I'm saying you're on the sky skiff.
Oh,
also.
I
Yeah.
heard boat. Sorry, I'm afraid of the word boat,
Oh,
apparently.
no. Said everyone but us are on the boat.
Okay.
That way
so
we can get over there fast, make sure everything's not on fire. Nobody has to see the dragons being weird. Win, win,
Okay.
win.
Pow, Asai, Papayar, Locale, and Akio. And
That's
that is
me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can actually fit another person on the sky skiff, if you were so inclined.
Who do we
But
got left?
we are not.
Presently, the only people unaccounted for are, or rather, the only people that are not on the sky skiff are Tonu, Bo can't be really, Pascal, Marco, Sonata, and Kubo.
Okay. I think we should be good then.
Pascal pipes up and, hey, if we are going to be splitting up, maybe you should take Sonata with you just to have another healer.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that, I mean, we won't have any healers, but what's the worst that could happen to us on a boat?
I don't like
A
that.
lot?
I don't like those words.
There's a fucking bone ship out there.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere
Sonata,
out
come
there.
back here. What?
Also, I hear this boat's haunted, so.
And Sada
boat-
just allowed the dragons to fly over open ocean.
My boat is not haunted. There were just some drunk adventurers that I'd hired for security that are no longer here. And we are leaving the city. It is fine. I am certain. Entirely. Excuse me. Okay. So, with that, if everybody else goes on the boat, that would be Tonu, Sonata, and Kubo in addition. Okay. So,
Hey,
with
if it comes to it, we can always meet the ship part way once we get back to Surugu.
you potentially could do that.
Yeah.
You'd be shaving maybe a day off of their overall journey.
Yeah.
But if you'd like. But yeah, with that, you split up, saying goodbyes.
Oh yeah, Vampire.
Papayar, after having a long and close hugging session with Bo, is eventually let down, and he goes over to you, Sada, and he sticks out his arm.
I grab it.
He grasps yours back and thank you.
Thank you. And I pull him in, give him a quick hug.
He hugs you back after a second before going, not how I expected our relationship to go.
Yeah.
when it's time, let me know. Just
Of course.
try not to get my clan ruined by the Iron Army of the North.
Yeah. Stay safe out there.
I'll do my best. I should probably get back to my clan though before they overthrow me or something. Thurman goes up to you also, Sada. He like his lower lip is kind of quivering a little. Hugs you, and he hugs Pow. He just sort of hugs all around. I'm gonna miss you guys so much.
Gonna miss you too,
Aw,
Thurman.
man.
Oh,
All choked up.
you go and you get ready to murder the samurai. Excuse me, the shogun, real soon, so that we can see each other again. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Miss you guys. Man, I should have said better goodbye to Kasumi too. Uh, tell her I. Bye.
Of course.
Oh. And with that, he sort of sidles up next to Pathfinder, and you begin to split off. Pascal gives you a quick hug and
Oh, yeah.
embrace before splitting off, and see you in a couple days.
Please keep this boat
Watch it.
safe.
Watch out for the bone
And
ship.
yourself. And look out for the bone ship.
The boat will not sink if I have to hold it out of the water myself.
I believe that.
Mm. And with that, all of you split off. The sky skiff unfurls its iridescent, bluish skein of light that serves as its ethereal sail and begins to ascend and take off into the sky. Doing a quick circle around the city first, you see where the palace once stood, where the tower that you bumped once pierced the air, but now replaced by the new tallest building in the city, the central tower emerging from the dome of Blue Eyes' palace.
And now no
For
one will
my...
ever know we hit the tower.
It's true, no one will, unless he tells them, which he has no reason to do. So you got away with that one, Scott-free.
The perfect crime.
We all flipped the bird to where the tower was.
The
Look
dragons don't know what you're doing, but they also join in.
Yeah. Hope these guys get-
Important.
Oh.
Batbayar.
Which Batfire?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Roll a d32.
Pendant.
Oh yes, we gotta find out what he turns into. Oh, is Nuva?
Give me a second.
there he is.
I need to head out real quick to walk my dog.
Whoa.
You do that?
Dog.
Yeah, be right back.
Everybody's doing chores during Pathfinder.
Dog.
That's why you should get a cat. She's right here. She doesn't go anywhere.
The cat will walk itself. Right to the litter box.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wish I had a dog.
Dogs are good.
I haven't seen my friend's dogs in a while. And he's basically who I've been getting my vicarious dog
Yeah.
living with.
Oh.
Yeah, I miss other people's dogs also.
He rolled it as a Ismo somehow.
Oh, what?
Um, Right. So, oh wait, did he roll?
Yeah, that's
He rolled
Isamo.
a 3.
He did roll as
Does
Isamo.
he have Isamo sheet?
He might, actually.
Huh.
He might have been controlling him during the village fight.
Oh.
Okay, so a 3. Try. Okay. He is an even.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Nice.
he is an uneven that simultaneously makes Pascal look tall and small.
Does he use the pendant before or after we see everybody off on the boat?
That's a
That is pretty
that's
funny.
something I can't answer, unfortunately. I can only guess as to what Pascal's reaction would be.
Just probably feel kind of sad, and like he suddenly needs to do some arm wrestling, right? Like, seems it always comes down to arm wrestling with these guys.
He's
Yeah,
shorter
arm
than
wrestling or just
Pascal,
girls.
but wider, so he's like a square and even.
He very much
Yeah.
is. He's like a 5'6" guy that whose shoulders threaten doorways. It's but anyway, you and your new large and even friend, which by the way, the dragons see this happen, and for the first time, you a person sees this happen and is just like, huh. They're completely unimpressed, nonplussed. You sail across the seas, zooming upon your sky skiff, and at a certain point, the three dragons do they sort of get the same idea in their head at the same time. Before anyone can really do anything, the three of them have just sort of fallen off the sides of the sky skiff. And suddenly you are being accompanied through the sky by 3 very large flying blue lizards.
Nice.
Who are occasionally styling on you. They will occasionally flip underneath the sky skiff or around it. At a certain point, Bolomox is flying just alongside you, Sada, upside down, making motions as if he's doing the backstroke. But after some time, when darkness has well and truly fallen over the land, you return to Surugu.
Finally. It's been 50 years.
No, it's been about a month.
Yeah.
Jeez. It could well and truly be on fire. We don't know. You think we would have heard it? Well, who would have sent us? Well, I don't know.
How's everything going?
Yeah.
Is anything on fire?
Yeah.
One sec.
We
Okay.
use our eyes. Are there fires? We see smoke on the horizon.
As you approach Hayaba, you do see smoke on the horizon.
Oh boy.
And as you get closer, you begin getting closer to the city, and you can see where the smoke is coming from. Fields around Hayaba have been scorched.
Damn it.
And the city itself, a number of buildings you can see look to have been immolated. A couple of towers on the city walls have met a similar fate. You do note that the castle has some scorch marks, as you saw it sail around the city to get an idea of what's going on. But aside from some superficial damage, it appears that the central portions, which are wood, have not been burnt, or at least not severely. A couple of places look to have been scorched, but may have been quickly put out by defenders. And perhaps the castle's defenders were able to prevent whoever did this, whoever that could be,
Ooh. Maybe
from
it was just goblins who got out of hand.
getting too close. That is racist.
That's racist.
The goblin settlement,
pro-goblin.
and in fact, your goblin settlement has been partially burnt down too.
Oh
No.
Which is like really bad because it's easily the densest area of the city. So like that's just like dozens of people's homes. But yeah, the Burning Wrath has visited Hayaba. And though the city is mostly intact, it looks like she did do some damage.
Ah.
And judging by the fact that it's still smoking, you'd guess that she did it recently.
That slams a fist.
The sky skiff dives. You're still sailing it.
I signed the free fist. I have one hand on the controls.
Damn it! Yeah! But there's nothing else to slam it on.
I've forgotten who the Burning Wrath is.
I mean,
the
you
Burning
don't
Wrath
really know her.
is actually yes, that's true. The Burning Wrath, but it is someone that Edisai would know.
Yeah.
The Burning Wrath is one of the former Seven Sorrows of the Shogun, a elite group of warriors and assassins whom the Shogun used as basically his personal adventurer party for ensuring that people in the home front didn't get any zany ideas about breaking away from his rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we killed most
One
of them.
Yes, most of them have been killed.
Yes.
By you guys. But
yes.
One of them, the Burning Wrath, who is a kineticist who wields both fire and the molten rock of the earth, made her way away from where the massacre of her fellows took place. And some time ago, a few months ago, has taken up residence, evidently, in Surugu, where she has been opportunistically, occasionally, just burning down your island.
And she's like a partial reincarnation of a chaos god or something?
Oh, right. That was also revealed to you. Yes, she is apparently a aspect of the chaos god Fervus, rent asunder at the end of the last age.
Yeah, so she's like a big problem.
And apparently we can't kill her outright because if we do that, that thing will just get loose again.
Yes, it will reincarnate into someone else.
Did we have a fix for that? I don't.
No.
We sent. Sada and Kasumi sent some letters to the champions of Ardania, but we haven't heard back yet.
Oh boy.
That is true.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
All right. You sail down to the surface, landing in the courtyard of Castle Hayaba. Is your city supposed to be on fire?
No. I'm gonna immediately run and try to find someone
Anyone, who do we keep around here that would be helpful that we left?
Well, a bunch of guards do meet you as
True.
you get off your sky skiff. And as soon as you do, one of them goes, "Lay Sada, we've been attacked."
Yeah.
When?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
How bad's the damage?
In some portions of the city, severe. Mostly people's homes were destroyed. Some damage was done to the cathedral and to the Temple of Polonius. However, those were extinguished quickly. It's where the city had densely built buildings, far away from any battlements, where we couldn't get good angles for arrow fire, that she was able to do the most damage, flying low between buildings and just igniting things as she went along. Eventually, though, she was seen off. Greta Baradun led some of the other priests and priestesses in confronting her, and during the fight, actually it was kind of funny. Not that this is funny at all, but Baradun caught one of her ankles and just slammed her against a wall.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
That is actually pretty good.
At which point she flew off.
Ah.
Kind of wobbly, but not important. There were casualties.
Shit. How many? I was about to ask.
About 113 people died.
Jesus. Tin Cat.
72 have been injured and are currently being tended to in the temples and the cathedral.
Aside, do you think you can go help out with those people?
Technically, my job is the dead ones.
Asai, very much. You have your work cut out for you. Although you do have other lowered priests to do some of the work, but at this point. But yes.
And I presume the Tori Clemenza is probably already helping, I imagine.
Yes, I believe so. Is there anything that you need us to do? Do you have any commands?
So I was just sort of thinking. I mean, yeah, just trying to take all this in. I presume most of the fires have already been put out.
Yes, the fires are out.
Yeah.
Or under control. Fortunately, we were able to control them such that entire sections of the city did not set off a light. Lot of create water magic.
Okay.
But do you have orders, ma'am?
What's there left to be done? What about the people who have lost their homes? Where their current status?
Homeless.
Ooh. Yeah.
I mean, it happened yesterday. We're setting up tents, I think. Are we doing that?
Well, if nobody's doing that, go see if you can get that. Go help with that. Let's see if
Ma'am. And they very quickly march off. Apparently happy to have just been given some sort of direction
Okay.
in the situation.
And yeah. All right, and God, okay, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you do now?
Well,
You should probably head down to the cathedral, make sure everything's going all right there.
yes, it's true. Should probably. I mean, Kasumi's been at the
Yeah, we also need to
the
get
the
Kasumi.
the what the heck is it called?
Yeah, I wonder if anyone's. I would hope somebody would have
Like
gone to go. I don't know.
the monastery.
Yeah,
Yeah. So she might not know that we've been hit. It only happened
yeah,
yesterday. Um, we need to. I don't. Man, how do you do anything about someone who flies around causing mayhem? Like,
yeah.
is attacking the city a challenge? Does she want to fight us? Is it just like nobody's home? Let's blow stuff up. Is she the kind of person that could be challenged to a fight? But like, or just is she happy to make mayhem? I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'm running to the cathedral. I'm gonna make sure people are okay down there because it's my job.
All right.
Okay.
Pow, you zip off. Sada, as you're left behind, Sasimex walks up to you and goes, "You seem to have a problem
Yes.
with a flying entity."
Yes. And you
Well,
can fly, can't you?
yes,
Yes.
we can fly. Of
Well.
course, there is the issue of this would be very dangerous from what I've been told. Look what this person has done to your city.
Hmm.
I don't think even I could cause such vast destruction on such a scale so easily. Oh, don't sell yourself short, sister. If we were to capture this person, I think we would have done you a rather good service,
I would agree.
don't you?
Yes.
Hmm. Perhaps a service owing a reward.
Yes.
Certain more liberal policies towards our situation here. Perhaps input on what means you wish to judge us on for our eventual accession to our rightful gains. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we simply have to hunt down a little mammal.
Don't underestimate her. And don't kill her. Because if we kill her, something
Uh,
else will apparently worse will come out. Unless we take the proper precautions.
You take the fun out of everything, don't you?
Yes.
All right. Well, I suppose we can merely. If we were to tear her arms and legs off, but leave her alive, would that be alright?
Yes. As long as she doesn't die from the wounds.
Jesus Christ.
Look, I'm not fucking around with the burning wrath.
Thank you very much for your practicality. That'll make things much easier. Well, shall we be off right now? I did sort of want to make get a look around the city first. Oh, yes. Well, maybe it'd be better for us to have a tour when it's not half destroyed. You do think things through. And with that, the three of them erupt into draconic forms. Your guards throw themselves backwards, immediately grabbing spears and swinging them around. Arrows
Sada.
are knocked into bows as the three of them lift off into the sky.
Sada face palms.
Uh,
I should have
and
realized I would do that.
spiraling around each other,
You gave the
Yeah.
permission to.
I figured
zipped off.
I figured they would have left the city or did a
They
little more discreetly.
they begin. You do see
Oh,
the
they don't
three
give
of
a
them
fuck.
circle the city, splitting up and doing a number of passes before coalescing in the center again and heading off northwest.
Sada looks at the guards. Don't worry, they're with us. It's a long story.
I
Ah!
thought
I'll
I
probably
thought they
have to
were
explain
scared
this.
of golden dragons.
They are.
They apparently got over that
Yeah.
as soon as they got here.
And I'll probably have to explain this to a few more other people as well. But for now, yeah.
Okay.
God. I would probably go check on Kasumi right away, but Jake's not here, so. Just, for now, I guess, yeah, I'll ask Kale if he can do whatever he can do. And then I'm gonna go around the city and see what help I can provide.
Okay. As all right. Pow, you get down to the cathedral of your triumvirate, and find that people are mostly more or less being very quickly processed, essentially, and shifted out. Wounds are being tended quickly, but magic is being expended at a large pace. You have a number of mid to high level clerics here, so very fortunately, simply through the expenditure of channel divinity, large numbers of people can be healed of their wounds. Most wounds. You do see a couple people who are missing some limbs. And eventually you do find Greta with Baradun standing protectively over her. Baradun himself evincing some new burn scars that you don't
Yeah.
recognize.
Yeah, I imagine the moment once he grabbed her and smashed her, she probably immediately turned on him and just blasted him.
Greta is hunched over a child about perhaps 8 years old whose arm is missing. But Greta, channeling a purplish golden energy through her hands and body, touches the kid. And after the magic flows from her and into him, after a few moments, you start seeing the arm begin to regrow. It's disgusting. It's like that scene in Deadpool. But it is well on its way to returning to its normal function. Greta stands as you approach, seeing you run up. Oh, you're back. It's good to see you again, Pow. We've had a bit of a issue.
How bows deeply to Greta.
and
That's
says,
really
"Thank
not
you.
us.
No,
It's-
this. Thank you for handling this, and we've heard that you were involved in the fight, and
I may have cast some spells. It was Bowden that put an end to it, though. She got close to me. I let her know that was a bad idea. He's so humble.
really is. Yeah.
But unfortunately, it was only after some time that we were able to effect this. A number of people were, well, placed beyond my ability to care for them.
Yeah.
Well, if you're all back though, the city is far less vulnerable, I presume. And I am told that well, our elven allies, she points to the giant floating city in the sky, were very helpful in extinguishing the fires once they knew what was going on. The attack only took a couple minutes. It was over very quickly. But what she was able to do in so short a time was
Yeah.
pretty terrible. It would probably behoove you to try and consider some fashion of defeating her. Are those dragons?
What?
And you look up, and there's 3 dragons circling the city before coalescing together and
No.
flying off of northwest.
Why are they just taking their sweet time? God, they just had to make a show of it. Like, oh yes, we're here now. Dragons. That's what we are.
Yeah, those
Brought over by one Sada Ryodo.
Akio,
Hello, it's me. Yeah, how are my men?
it occurs to you that they might have been attempting, considering how Blue Eyes behaved on a couple of occasions, mentioning the way that any of you smelled, they may have been trying to pick up a trail.
Ah, fair enough. I don't know what it's like to be a dragon, but I
Jake,
imagine
is
they've
your tub successfully
bugger.
saved?
Not yet. I am
Ooh.
letting some liquid plumber go through it.
Oh.
There is a actual possibility that like the pipes froze overnight because last night was literally the coldest night on record for many years.
Oh shit.
Jeez.
Really?
Granted, it's Florida cold, but it's also Florida humid with Florida cold, so that kind of compounds things.
Was it freezing last night for you?
Yeah.
Oh.
What was the low last night?
The papaya.
Yeah, I know. It's looking a little scraggly. Last night it was down. Like I don't know why I'm searching for weather for Tampa, but it was like down in like 31.
Oh.
It was only saying 38, but yeah, it got down to like 31.
Well, yeah, I guess if it's not insulated, yeah, that could freeze a pipe.
Mhm.
Google's
Yeah, I mean it's unlikely, but because the
Yeah.
other part is
Your tub is a drain pipe, so that really shouldn't have liquid in it at all times. But I guess in like a trap or something, it could.
the other part is Amy put some of her porch plants or their porch plants on the in the tub last night because they wanted to quickly water them and they had to be inside anyways. So I'm wondering if like an excess of like dirt and debris got down there.
Mm.
So hopefully the drainer will clear that up. We'll see.
Yeah, drainer or a really good plumber, that should atomize anything that was organic down there. So
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very frustrated because I didn't take a shower yesterday because of the plants, and now
Oh man.
I need to take I live in Florida, It's gross here. But yeah. Anyways, I will ask her a recap once everything's done. Please finish the session.
Okay, no, understood, and this will work out. We'll do Kasumi stuff at the beginning of next session.
Okay.
Since we only have a few minutes left, anyway. So the dragons have left. Pow, you're here, and yeah, Sada, you're left wandering the streets.
Yeah.
Where eventually you find your way into the general vicinity of Shin's bar.
Oh. What state is it in?
The bar is fine.
Oh, okay.
As you're sort of walking around, though, you don't see Shin emerge from the bar. You see Madame Hey, the prostitute that had helped you in Hayatetsu, who had moved to Hayaba and sort of set up as one of Shin's informants.
Yeah.
And, well, relationship friend.
Yeah.
But Madamura walks out of the door.
Stop and look.
Almost stalkingly. And he turns towards you, and you clearly see his nostrils flare as he stares at you. Before he rushes across the street at you, before you can even react, and has you up against a wall on the far side of the alley, arm across your chest, his face inches from yours as he growls out at you, "You bring blues here!" And that's where we'll set off for tonight.
Oops-a-daisies.
Fuck.
Oh, and now I can. So, hope you enjoyed the session.
Oh, yeah, so Jake, the Burning Wrath attacked Hayaba.
Yeah, Rita let me know in DM.
Okay, good.
So, that was one of the high elves, right? That was just talking.
No, this was.
Or was it Shin?
This is a prostitute we know.
Oh, because she's secretly a dragon.
Probably secretly yeah.
Oh, he. Pardon.
Or yeah. Also, Shin's friend with benefits.
Yes. No.
So yeah, I guess maybe he is secretly a dragon.
Well. Whoops.
Whatever he is, he does seem very unhappy about your
dragons, yeah.
blue dragon friends.
Also, I would imagine the high elves probably won't be too thrilled about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's got a lot of talking
no. They'll be. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Yeah. We'll see how it all rolls out. Sada was already expecting to have to talk to them about a whole bunch of stuff after that happened.
Yeah.
She was expecting them to be more discreet, but they decided, oh no, we're just gonna fly off right now and look for the Burning Wrath.
On the bright side, they're looking for the Burning Wrath for you.
Yeah.
How did the webcam make any difference?
Yes.
It's a nice touch. I think it would be fun if we all did so. We don't have to include it on the recording, but hey, Rita, you already do it for.
I don't own one.
I know it's just
I would be willing to do it
pajamas.
Oh no, Sal's.
Yeah.
We lost him.
if I had more warning. I would be willing to
Yeah.
participate, but I look like exceptional trash today.
Exactly my point.
I always
fine.
wear
I
pajamas.
don't want anybody to feel pressured. I just thought that at least for having your GM at least visible and capable of actually acting
Yeah, I thought
a bit
I like seeing the emoting.
Good hand acting.
Your hand motions. Yeah.